I just wanted you guys to experience the sunrise for yourself. A lot of people want things to be done for them, but that's silly because it's important that we do things for ourselves. It really is. You know, like, so think about it like this. Say you get money from some people that say they have your best interest at heart, but they don't. But they give you money because they know you're a drug addict. And instead of taking that money and putting it to something useful, you instead feed your addiction. This is probably a bad example, but let's keep going. Well, I know from my own personal experience that when I buy a bag of drugs, it feels really good because I know that that's my hard-earned money that I'm using. I'm not using anybody else's money. And, you know, I used to be a thief, and so it's really cool, you know, not stealing anything and being able to afford things that I want and buying those things, you know? That's really awesome. And I know that I used to be a recipient of government money, okay? And when I was a recipient of that, I did not make good decisions. And I couldn't keep a job. And I didn't have much self-esteem. Imagine that. Because I didn't really do anything to earn self-esteem. You know, there's nothing esteemable that I did at that time. And I was a pretty miserable sack of shit. But I got free money. I got free money, and it didn't really help me. But if you make the money, even if you lose the money, it's still your money to lose. Even if you waste the money, it's still your money to waste. If it's somebody else's, you can't own that because it's not yours technically. Even if these people think that you deserve it, that still doesn't mean that you do. You know? But I was just thinking about it in relation to that glorious sunrise, you know? You wouldn't want to give away that experience to somebody else, would you? You wouldn't want to say to somebody, here, look at this sunrise for me. You know? I can't do it myself. You look at it for me. Like, you wouldn't do that with good experiences, right? Like, experiences that don't require much of you. Well, just looking at something pretty that God created, you know, that's lovely. That's a lovely feeling. That only you can experience it, like, when you're experiencing it, you know? I mean, you can look back and reflect or whatever, but it's not the same as being there and experiencing it at that particular moment. It's like, why would you want to give that away? Whether that's good or bad, or you work hard or you don't work hard, I just don't understand it. Why you'd want to let somebody else determine how you do things, you know? That's what it boils down to for me. Why do people want to allow other people that don't even know them to determine the course of their life? Does that make sense to y'all? I mean, it just makes me sad, really, that people don't have any faith in themselves, that they feel the need to trust some entity of very well-meaning individuals, very, very high caliber people. And these people are going to decide pretty much everything. I mean, I don't think that people understand like how extreme this is going to get. I mean, I'd like to be wrong on this, but I'm not wrong about anything else. So, well, I shouldn't say that. Every once in a while, I'm wrong, but for the most part, we're unfortunately right. And I hate it. I hate it. Like, people that gloat because they're right, how horrible do you have to be? I mean, I don't like the idea of human suffering. So many people fancy themselves in thinking that they're not a fan of that, but they definitely are. I mean, I'm not just saying that because of this current president. I'm saying that because of the whole system. I'm saying that because of just this country and just how stupid this country is. And like, it's just like people, like I've said before, people don't want solutions. They just want to keep complaining. Because if they didn't have something to constantly complain about, it's like there would be nothing to fuel them. And I really do think that there's some minute for people to be like that. You know, to always have a chip on their shoulder, to always be mad about something, to always be frustrated, to always be pissed off at the ways of the world, you know? It's like, I used to be that way too, man. That's why I recognize it. It's borderline personality disorder to a capital T. That's what this is. All the bitterness, all the lashing out, refusing to take any responsibility at all, constantly playing the victim through anything that moves. Yes, this is borderline personality. And the mere fact that, like, so many of these people, you can already tell the kind of upbringing that they had based off of how hostile they are to the traditional family unit, okay? They're so hostile towards that shit. There really is, I mean, in my personal opinion, I don't think there's any other reasonable explanation as to how and why they are so antagonistic towards, like, any kind of element of conservatism. You know, it really is because they didn't have that. They didn't have a father to protect them from bad things that happened to them when they were a kid. And because they didn't have that, they don't think anybody should have that. That's why they look to the government to protect them. That's why they look at the government to do things for them. Because they don't think that they can do things for themselves. Because they weren't taught that. And that's why I say it's sad. It's really, really sad. And then, of course, you have people, you know, and I used to be this kid.
I used to be this kid that thought that my parents were pieces of shit because I didn't protest the Vietnam War. And I do think that a lot of liberal kids, that's how they feel towards their parents. And that's why they don't have any problem, you know, like disassociating from them or ratting them out to the police or some shit. I mean, it really is like Orwell said. But, you know, he wasn't the only one that got the timing wrong. Amy Gross gets the timing wrong some of the time, but most of the time she's right.